All right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, it feels so good being able to use my voice and it doesn't feel like I'm about to cough every few seconds. Even though there's like a little bit of there's little phlegm, little phlegm in the back. Especially when I try to force it. It's just lingering in the back. Let's go ahead and get the formalities out of the way, shall we? Yo, peoples, Kyushu92 here, and welcome back to yet another One Punch Man read-through. Today, we are going to be reading through volume 21 of the series. And what I like about a lot of these volumes of One Punch Man is remember how they had this in the back of their volume? Well, in the back of volume 21, it combines together to become like a whole image. Because this is the back of volume 21 right here, and it combines with the back of volume 20 right here. So I like how it combines the image. Like you got Terrible Tornado, two members of the Nerdinky group, combined with Captain Mizuki and the others. So I kind of like how, and it not only combines some of the backs of these volumes, but it also combines the spines with it as well. As you can see here, one portion it makes of Saitama's fists right there. And it combines together. I like it when it makes it seem like it's a very cohesive type image. Dragon Ball Super does the exact same thing. Dragon Ball Super does the exact same thing with their spines, and it's just an interlocking line of Goku, Vegeta, and all the characters and everyone that has appeared in the Tournament of Power. We on that Saitama time today? Yes, we are the one to dawn. So, as I always say, if you guys want to see what I'm seeing, either go to the official site on Shonen Jump, or the website of your choice, but as I always say, support the official release. Oh, it feels good to be able to read to you guys, because last time I was not in the best of health. When I read the last chapter, I had a headache. It was difficult for me to read through it, and I was just like trying my best. Trying my best to get through that chapter as best I could, and I just powered through it. But I feel so much better. Oh, I feel good. So, last we left off, the heroes kind of pretty much made their way towards where the Monsters Association was. Turned out to be a trap. And then we had this one monster that could use telekinetic powers, trap them inside as it tussled with Terrible Tornado. And then it was just mainly, and it was only a 2-chapter volume with the bonus manga at the end. It was just mainly a whole bunch of fighting. We saw everyone fighting. Needle Stars, Captain Mizuki. We even saw Super Alloy Black Luster. We saw everyone fighting. Just fighting all these monsters. Even the support heroes that came to back them up was fighting as well. And it was just a phenomenal fight-filled volume all the way through. So now we get to see what happens in volume 21 in an instant. So, right here, a single man arose to face the evil threatening mankind. His name was Saitama. He became a hero for fun. With one punch, he has resolved every crisis so far, but no one believes he could be so incredibly strong. Together with his pupil Genos, Class S, Saitama has been active as a hero and risen from Class C to Class B. One day, a man named Garo shows up. He admires monsters, so he begins hero hunting. And around the same time, monsters calling themselves the Monster Association rise up and wreak havoc everywhere. Now the Monster Association has taken a young boy named Waganma hostage and issued a challenge to the Hero Association. The Class S heroes enter into a massive battle against the Monster Association, with 15 other heroes backing them up. Early in the fight, the heroes appear to be dominant. But now... So, let's see how many chapters we get today. We get punches 97 through 101 with the bonus manga at the end. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is way more than we got in the last volume last week. So let's go and get started. As we cut to, because if you remember, the heroes were holding their own until the big rhinoceros dude ran through, judging everyone's attacks by his point system. And he just started repelling all of the support heroes that were there. Not the Class S yet, but just the other heroes that were, kind of defending themselves. Punch 97! The decision is... And then we get to the Rhino dude speaking to Gyoro. You're such a great narrator that you even rival the One Piece narrator. Oh, Ogata-san, that is such a... Wow, that is actually... I never heard that before. You honor me. I'm humbled. I'm humbled that you think that I'm comparable to the One Piece narrator. I'm sorry, but it's just like, wow. That's a massive accolade. Punch 97! Hey, Gyoro, what's my current threat level? Am I still Tiger? That was when we first met, but now, you are Demon, and I want to see you fight. Occasionally, monsters suddenly evolve. I'm happy to have found several among my forces. Punch 97, the decision is... What's the matter? Is this all a hero's got? Give me the strongest one of ya! As he's defending himself, and no, Rhino Wrestler, that's his name. Threat level Demon, Rhino Wrestler, as he's clashing with Atomic Samurai's pupil, Iain. I noticed that the ninja, which we found out is a girl, is also on the back of the last cover. Oh yeah, she is. I never noticed it until now. I never noticed it until just now, but she's right there next to Captain Mizuki's, and I mean, that pretty much just confirmed that she was a girl from there, but you never really pay attention to it until it's actually addressed in the volume. What's the matter? Is this all a hero's got? Give me the strongest one of ya. My evolution will continue. I even get stronger during battle. Saying you are not. And he's clashing with Iain, and then Atomic Samurai goes, that is enough, Ei. I will take it from here. Yo! Atomic Samurai stepping up! And Ei goes, Master Atomic, I can do more. No, I will not wait. I have noticed your obsession with cutting his horn, but this is no time for your stubbornness. Thus I shall strike him down. Strike me down? Don't be stupid! Haven't you been watching me fight? Oh well, at least you've got guts. Blades, and then it cuts to Poison as he says, Blades won't work on Rhino Wrestler. He'll destroy them both. And then it cuts to Second Gall saying, Atomic Samurai! And then it cuts to Rhino Wrestler saying, as he's gearing up to punch Atomic Samurai, hit me with your best shot, and I'll score it! And it just shows a panel of Atomic Samurai drawing his sword. And then it shows him drawing his sword slightly, and then it shows him backing away from Rhino Wrestler without even pulling his sword all the way out, and he goes, all right, this is over. Let's move on. Everyone still on their feet? Ain't nothing over. And then the Atomic Samurai just walks away. And then Rhino goes, hey, don't ignore me. And then Samurai goes, huh? Oh, right. What's my score? As a line begins to appear through the horn of Rhino Wrestler. And he starts holding on to his horn as best as he can. But his whole body starts trembling, not just his horn. He starts trembling and goes, I'm so frustrated. Gyoro. You will not stop me from doing these voices, cough. You said... I will not stop. You said I was strong. You said I could beat a Colossus hero, but you lied to me! 100. And as Rhino Wrestler says 100, his entire body just explodes into tiny, diced up pieces. Because Atomic Samurai not only cut through his horn, he cut through his body so much that there was absolutely no way he was going to live after he walked away. And after giving Atomic Samurai's attack a 100, Samurai just goes, "Thank you." And he just walks away. And then the whole body of Rhino Wrestler just explodes from the delayed force of this cut. And then it cuts to the monsters going,
"Yeah, that guy beat Rhino Wrestler! How'd he do it? I don't know, but he's only got one blade. If we attack him as one, we can kill him. But ain't he their strongest?"
And then it cuts to Atomic Samurai taking out the little pick that's in his mouth. And as one monster gets to him, he starts slashing it in the air, and he cuts the monster apart with the pick in his mouth. He's cutting apart monsters with the long reed that's in his mouth. He's just, with the speed he has, he's cutting monsters apart with it. And then he draws his sword, and in one big, massive double spread panel, in a flurry of movements too fast for the eye to comprehend and follow, he cuts apart every single monster that tried to launch at him, including all their weapons. Like, it's like cutting through butter with a very hot knife. But after you cut through that butter, the butter explodes. Because in the next double spread panel, all you see is the sky behind Atomic Samurai light up with the exploding bodies of all the monsters that just tried to launch at him and got cut. And then, as it shows monster parts raining down around Atomic Samurai, he goes, "There aren't enough of you to take me on." And then all the support heroes, like Narcissistoic, and Crescent Moon Highbrows, they're all looking with Narcissistoic going, "I'm impressed." And then Atomic Samurai is just watching. And then he goes, "Oh, there's more of you. Fine, I'll kill you all." And then it shows the monsters that are in front of Atomic Samurai, they suddenly start shuddering. And then they all fall down, as apparently Flashy Flash has cut down all the samurai, all the monsters. Why did I say samurai? Flashy Flash has cut down all the monsters that was in front of Atomic Samurai. And then it cuts to the Ninja Girl, the same one we saw at the back of Volume 20. She says, "That was fast. I couldn't even see what he did. Such flashy moves." And then Flashy Flash goes, "Playtime is over, so get to work." And then it shows Flashy Flash in a very flashy manner, weaving through monsters at such a speed that you only see him at the end of the panel, but you see the eviscerated and decapitated and bisected and dissected and diced up bodies of monsters in his wake.
"Killing a hero will make us look good, so let's get a weak one."
And then Gearspur is standing there all on his lonesome, and he goes, "Say after me!" And then Captain Mizuki jumps in, and she goes, "No problem, bring it on!" And before she can do anything, Super Alloy Black Luster comes in and gets in front of her. And then he takes on all the attacks that are happening, and he's just looking like oh my goodness, these Class S heroes. Black Luster is like a super roided out black brother, but the dude doesn't respond to any sort of attack that's happening to him right now. Like, he had a building fall on his head, and the building broke apart around him, and all he did was just brush off the rubble. Like, he didn't just have a whole building fall on his head. And now these monsters jump in front of him and start trying to attack him, and the only thing he's doing is looking back at Captain Mizuki, and he goes, "You tired? Take it a little easy." "Huh? Look forward, they're attacking." "Yeah, but muscles need rest." And she's just awestruck as Alloy just bum rushes and runs through all of these monsters like they're literally nothing. And he runs through them with such force that he kills them on impact. And then Captain Mizuki goes, "You blew right through them. Black Luster, what's your training regimen?" And then it shows Pig God eating one of the monsters, because when has he ever done anything else? And then it shows Putty Prisoner coming in going, now it's my turn. Stay back, everyone. And Putty gets hit in the face by a monster. And then there's just silence as Putty Prisoner stares back at this monster like, did you just punch me? And it's just this awkward silence, like nothing happened after Putty Prisoner got punched in the face. And then there's this light that comes off of Prisoner as Putty just barrages this monster in another double spread panel. There's a lot of them thus far. And just barrages him with what? I'm guessing Angel Rush. And just breaks this monster down. Oh yeah, he breaks this monster all the way down. These punches kind of remind me of the same punches the Deep Sea King gave him during that entire volume. And it just shows the dents and craters left by these punches of Putty Prisoner. And then the body of the monster just flat out explodes from the force of all these blows. Then all the dudes are watching as all this devastation is going on from Putty Prisoner. And then he goes, did you see that, boys? It's all right. You can fall for me. And then it shows the men, all the men just backing up to a very far off distance to the point where they're just silhouettes in the distance. And then Putty just goes, I said fall for me, not fall back. And then something falls out of the sky directly in front of Putty. And it's a black rag of that Joggin, the same monster that used its telekinetic powers in order to fight the heroes, trap the heroes, and try to get into a massive fight with a terrible tornado. We see a bag with his arms sticking out inside, with him struggling inside. And then it cuts to Putty going, he must really hate you to keep his original form like that. And then Tornado comes in and so goes, oh, I didn't really notice. And then it just shows her using her telekinetic power to kind of shred this dude in a corkscrew, like funneling manner. Like she starts spinning her finger and he starts getting compressed in like a circular motion. He starts getting compressed in place, getting thinner and thinner. This dude used to be bigger than pretty much every other monster that was there. And now he's being compressed into like a small amount of literally nothing. And Gyoro is watching all this go down. With his little, flying eye thing. And as it's going, Child Emperor is in the air, and he cuts directly through it. Going,
found you! No more watching!
And then Gyoro goes, I saw what I needed to. Too bad King wasn't there. Ah, I see. I understand now. And then it cuts to another double spread panel as someone is walking up to Gyoro with them going, don't summon me when I'm getting pumped for a fight. Oh, it's the leaders. It's the monster leaders. So, what do you understand now? And it cuts to all the leaders, like the cat leader that took all of Putty Prisoner's boys from the prison. Cuts to one cone head looking dude. It cuts to one dude that looks like he's a child's toy. Cuts to one guy with a crown in his head, and it cuts to one monster that's just basically a giant mouth with arms and legs. And it shows Orochi in the background as well. The fire still going on from its fight with Garo. And that's the end of Punch 97. Onwards to Punch 98. Fast Guy. And it shows Black... Every time I see this man just doing something. It starts this chapter with Blackluster picking up a bus just casually picking up a bus and slamming it into a nearby building, causing monsters to fall out. And in that process, and while it's just like the dude is, first we see this dude casually squat pressing a car as a warm-up before this whole thing started, before they even left the Hero Association. Then this dude just tanks a full building falling on his head. Then he just lets these monsters hit on him, which does nothing, and he just runs through them. And now this dude is just picking up buses, slamming them into buildings, causing the monsters to fall out of the buildings. Just so casually. You would think I'd be used to the ridiculous based on me reading One Piece and My Hero Academia, but it's just moments like this where it's all like, are you kidding? But it shows crescent moon, and it shows feathers slicing through these monsters. Then it cuts to, Double Blast, the dude with the strange nose equipment on his face. He's taking a tissue out, and then he jabs it up the nose of Needle Stars. And as Needle Stars goes, oh! And then Double Blast just goes, sorry, it's a habit. And then it cuts to Second Gall and Child Emperor, as Child Emperor says,
good, we finished off all the monsters that appeared. The support team will remain on standby at a central location. Just leave the rest to us. It's almost time. The attack team is in place, so begin advancing.
And then it cuts to Second Gall, because it zooms in on Putty Putty Prisoner, Zombie Man, Amai Mask, Tornado, Black Luster, Flashy Flash, and Atomic Samurai. And then it cuts to Second Gall as he goes, remember, rescuing the hostage is top priority. You have no backup. Whatever happens, see to your own. And then it cuts to Captain Mizuki as she goes,
excuse me, could I get some help over here?
And then it cuts to Child Emperor and Second Gall looking back before they even get into the sewers, as it shows both her and Gearspur doing their absolute best to unblock Pig God.
Pig God is stuck!
Because Pig God basically just pulled a Snorlax, and he's stuck inside. What is he even stuck in? He tried to take the subway entrance down into the... He tried to take a subway tunnel down in there, but he's so big, he can't even fit inside of the entrance. Then there's a massive slicing motion, and Atomic Samurai apparently breaks everyone out of that whole space, and even cuts a massive hole for Pig God to fall down into the tunnels. So Atomic Samurai just sliced up that entire subway entrance just for everyone to get out and for Pig God to fall through. I'm not stuck. And then Ian goes, Master, is this strategy wise? Huh? It's nothing some killer can't solve. And then Second Gall just goes, ugh. Anyway, I don't want any of you to die. You rushed out to and then it's just him going, I don't want any of you to die. And then it cuts to Gyoro after summoning the leaders. You rushed out to achieve glory, so why have you returned? Did you kill any heroes? And then it cuts to some monsters who actually ran back inside. And then it cuts to one monster that looks like it's part hermit crab a little bit.
No, they're super strong! Stronger than anybody said. There's no way we can beat them. They already killed almost half of us, but we ain't even scratched them. This is gonna be bad. We thought we could overwhelm them with numbers, but that was wrong. This is too dangerous.
And then Gyoro goes, you don't want to die.
No way! I joined the Monster Association to go on killing sprees.
Then I have no more use for you. You may die. And then all of a sudden, they get encased in a telekinetic cube. All the monsters that are there in front of Gyoro get encased in a telekinetic cube with no way out.
Huh? It's striking! Wait! Boss Gyoro! We can't stop
And then it just shows the cube being shrunken down into a very small shape, crushing all the monsters that are inside and compacting them. And Gyoro goes, "If you cannot even lose, then I will feed you to Lord Orochi." Which he does, and he just shoves the cube out into the amphitheater, where Orochi just eats it. And then Gyoro looks at the rest of the monsters that are still there, and he goes, "What are you looking at? Get going, my hordes." And it just shows Orochi in the background as he's chomping down on the monsters that tried to run. And then Gyoro in a big panel, a big scary panel where only his eye and the background is lit up with the fires and the teeth of Orochi as he stares at the other monsters going, "Must the leaders and demon-level monsters do everything? Unless you want to be a meat cube, risk your lives to get information on the enemy. We still have the advantage, and you mustn't fear mere humans. Target the Class S heroes as I instructed, and go." At first, you thought Gyoro was breaking the fourth wall in that panel. It does look like he's looking at you, going like, "What are you looking at, reader?" It does look like he's staring at us, the readers, because we're looking at him crush these monsters and then just casually feed them to Orochi. And then it cuts to wordless panels as we cut to Putty Prisoner making his way in, Black Luster making his way in, Atomic Samurai and his students making his way in, Pig God just casually eating and making his way in as some monsters watch him, and Terrible Tornado flying through one of the tunnels as well. With Gyoro going, "The real fight is just beginning." And then it cuts to Flashy Flash, with Child Emperor going in the past, like a past flashback, as he goes,
Make sure you look over the transmitter manual. It includes a map I drew up. We can contact each other in emergencies, but don't expect to be rescued. Since the monster's underground hideout is vast, be aware of your position. Getting lost could cost you your life, so be careful.
And then it just cuts to Flashy Flash just thinking to himself as he's holding this transmitter. And then it cuts to some monsters who found Flashy Flash, and they go,
"Hey, you're that ultra-fast hero called Flashy Flash."
And Flashy Flash just simply goes, "Give me the boy." I like how he doesn't even waste any time. He just tells them what he wants. Give me the boy.
"Hey, you're that hero, that super class S hero called Flashy Flash, aren't ya?"
Give me the boy. I just love his delivery.
"We were waiting for you. We knew you'd come through here. You boast about your speed, but can you use it in this narrow corridor?"
And before these monsters could even finish speaking and laughing, it just shows all of their heads getting punctured pretty much simultaneously, blood shooting out of the hole that the sword went through, and their mouths, and their whole heads just erupting in a very flashy way, with Flashy Flash already walking behind these monsters that tried to stop him. You didn't even give him a chance to fully finish the conversation. Omae wa mou shinderu. And they don't even get a chance to say, "Nani?" They don't even get a chance. And then Flashy Flash goes, "Boast it, but people do say I finish my fights fast." And then it just shows him standing there as a shower of blood happens as we get those same two ninja that accepted monsterization that came across Speed of Sound Sonic earlier. They're clapping their hands as they stand in a hallway, in this long hallway, in front of Flashy Flash. And the one called Hellfire, he ignites his sword and swings it in a way that causes torches that are throughout this hallway to get lit up. I'm sorry, y'all, if y'all see me get excited when I see whatever's happening in One Punch Man. It's just so well drawn, and the story is so good. I just love this story. Fanboying done. Back to it. And it just shows Flashy Flash standing in this hallway in front of these two. With one of them going, impressive, Flashy. And before he can finish, Flashy Flash appears to stab him in the head, but the dude uses instant transmission to get away from him. Nice moves. You're worth killing. Surely that wasn't your top speed. You're Flashy Flash, the man who caused the Final 44 incident. You. Oh, I see. And then it shows Flashy Flash starting to clash with Hellfire. And he's constantly clashing with them, and then it appears like they're moving at such a speed that the entire area that they're fighting in looks like it starts to get entombed in this big fiery dome with no way to look inside. Were you after me this whole time?
Yeah, and now we meet. I've looked forward to this.
This guy.
Windblade kick!
And apparently, Flashy Flash uses Windblade kick on Hellfire and manages to cause a cut to appear on his cheek. These are some very well done panels. And then Hellfire uses Flame Blade kick, and it shows Flashy Flash jump away. But then he jumps up to the air and notices that there's something on the roof. And he notices that his hand gets caught in one of these, and his hand gets slightly cut by steel wire. It's steel wire on the roof. And it shows, I forget this other guy's name. I think his name was Tempest Wind. Tempest Wind pulls on these steel wires, and it starts to knock Flashy Flash around a little. But Flashy Flash dodges. That was close, I almost had him. And then it shows Flashy Flash as it shows him with cuts all over his costume. And then Tempest goes, I never expected you to infiltrate this place on your own. You heroes are a bold and arrogant bunch. But that makes this easier, as it shows Hellfire still with his sword on fire. And then Flashy Flash looks around, and he notices all the cobwebs and what could be steel wire all around him. And then he says, enough chit-chat. Pursued by wind and flame, flee like a winged insect straight into the spider's web. You'll be sliced into pieces at your own speed. Then it shows Flashy Flash moving at such a speed that he blitzes these two ninja, and the entire area in big slashes just erupts as he immediately bears down on both Tempest Wind and Hellfire Flame. Like the whole way he gets to them, he's at the end of the hallway. But he goes in like a loop-de-loop-like fashion in this square-ish hallway at such a speed that they're immediately on the defensive. And he's clashing with the both of them at the same time. All the while cutting the very walls themselves. And that's when Tempest Wind notices. He cut away the walls. And then Flashy Flash says, you're from the village, right? And you joined the monsters for a chance to kill me. And then it cuts to Tempest Wind going, with a glare in his eye going, it's too cramped here, so let's change locations. And then the floor underneath Flashy Flash, Hellfire Flame, and Tempest Wind give way, and they fall into like a underground waterfall area, which is the same area that they were actually training in not too long ago. And the both of them fall into this massive cavern. This kind of reminds me of a Dead Fantasy fight when they're fighting along the walls in that one Dead Fantasy video. It's an old video back that Monty Ohm created many years ago. Kind of reminds me of that. They're fighting as they're falling down this entire ravine. And it shows Tempest Wind slashing steel wire in the direction of Flashy Flash. And Flashy Flash flashily dashes away from it. And he clashes with Tempest Wind, with Tempest Wind blocking that attack and uses Stormblade Kick. And they both try to use their own kicks on Flashy Flash at the same time, but Flash dodges. And as Flash tries to swipe at them, they both jump away from the cliff face and land on the opposite end, on two ends of a waterfall. And Flashy Flash uses his sword to stop his momentum and, face them. And Tempest Wind goes, "This is a good spot, no? We took it from the monsters. Now we can fight all we want. And as hard as we want." And Tempest Wind takes out his swords and their two kukris, while Tempest Wind still uses his flaming katana. "We're your butchers, and we're from Golden 37. Tempest Wind and Hellfire Flame. Let's fight!" Threat level demon, Hellfire Flame, and threat level demon, Tempest Wind. And they both just start clashing with one another. And they all clash with each other midair on their way down to the water. And as soon as they hit the water, they fight across the water, constantly clashing with one another. This is a whole Flashy Flash-centric chapter right now. And Flash goes, "Who hired you? After the Monster Association, I'll go say hello to your employer." And they start fighting up a waterfall. Let me say that again. They start fighting up a waterfall. They start fighting around the waterfall as if it's a physical, tangible object that they can physically run up. They start swirling around and fighting up a waterfall, and they keep clashing until they land on the bridge that we saw Wind and Flame on not too long ago. "Our employer? What if I said it's Skillfish, the king of human trafficking? Will you take on the forces of a secret organization?" "No." "Why not?" "Because I already killed him for sending assassins after me." Yo! They tried to put in this man's head what if I said it was this person? "No, it's not that person because I killed him already." "What about the drug shogun Herald?" "I killed him." "And the heart collector Buligula? "I killed him too." "What about the freak phantom thief Chismagusa?" "I killed him." "And the indomitable bandit Captain Jama Storm?" "Oh yeah, I remember that guy." "There's also all the big shots of the Assassination Association." "All of them are at the bottom of the ocean." "I didn't advertise it, so maybe nobody knows. But aside from my hero activities, I slaughtered everyone who came to kill me." Yo! You see? This dude is called Flashy Flash, and he does things in a flashy way, but he's the one who does it. He's the one who does the flashy stuff when no one's around. This dude killed every single assassin, killed everyone who came to kill him. So all these big shots of the Assassination Association that Wind is trying to say, well, what about this person? No, I killed them all. I killed them all. This dude killed them all. He just didn't broadcast it. He's literally what you would call an unsung hero. He really will go out there and take down people, but won't tell anyone. And no one will ever know he did it because he doesn't broadcast and boast about his actions. He's the exact opposite of his namesake. "I didn't advertise it, so maybe nobody knows. But aside from my hero activities, I slaughtered everyone who came to kill me." "Are you done with that ruse? So who is pulling your strings?" And then Wind goes, "We're gonna kill all those guys after killing you. We're taking out cocky underworld powers one by one. But you've spared us the effort, and I'm grateful." "Thank you, but now you must die." And then it shows them clashing on the bridge. As Wind goes, "We want to use our powers for world domination, but tough members of the village stood in our way." Ninja skills can be so pesky, as it shows Tempest Wind actually landing a kick on Flashy Flash, knocking him away. And then it cuts to Flash going, "Not all ninja from the village," talking about the ninja girl that's fighting with everyone upstairs. "Yeah, but they're vastly inferior. Golden 37 was the strongest ever, and we were its leading lights. How long can you withstand us, former number 1 of the 44th generation?" And as it shows both Tempest and Hellfire trying to hit Flashy Flash, Flashy Flash is already way past them, leaving massive cuts on both of their cheeks at the same time. "Too bad. Was that your fastest?" And then Flash goes, "Stop holding back and hit me with the power you gained from monsterization." Hehe, you knew? And their eyes start glowing because they've been found out. "I sensed it from him earlier in the fight, but your desire to change locations made me certain. You haven't been monsters long, so you aren't accustomed to your top speeds. That's why you needed an open space." "Oh my, and you knew and yet you still came? It's really irritating how you look down on your elders." "No, I'm going to teach you puffed up nobodies that monsterizing isn't nearly enough to beat me." "You can't take those words back, so you better watch them closely." And as soon as Tempest and Hellfire transform, they disappear from view with such speeds that Flash actually opens his eyes wide in surprise, as he barely has enough time to survive an attack from both Flame and Wind at the exact same time. That happens with blinding speed. And now we get a new reformation of both Hellfire Flame and Tempest Wind. They're no longer threat level demon. They have ascended in their monster forms to threat level dragon. Threat level dragon, Hellfire Flame. Threat level dragon, Tempest Wind. And that is the end of Punch 98. Onwards to Punch 99 in an instant. And it shows Flash defending himself from the monsterized Wind and Flame. And Tempest Wind moves his kukris at such a speed that they actually cause many sonic booms as he attempts to hit Flash, and Flash actually gets knocked away from the force of this. Flame comes up behind him while he's still being launched midair, and Flash manages to defend himself in the nick of time. And then Flash just stares at him. And then Flame goes, "Fire Blast, scatter Flash slash!" And then using his fire, he causes massive slashes to appear in front of him that also cut away a ginormous part of the bridge behind Flash. And Flash still defends himself from it. Like, Flash is fine. Oh, this dude. Flash is fine. And this surprises Flame as the bridge cuts away and falls behind them. This is like what happened when Sephiroth started to get serious against Genesis. Why was I about to call him Genos? Against Genesis during Crisis Core. "He withstood my monster swordplay?" And then it cuts to Tempest Wind thinking, "Or was he just lucky? No." And then Flashy Flash says, "Heavy Flash slash," as he holds his sword in his hand, like during in between his fingers. And then he jabs in the direction of Flame, and the force of the blow is so powerful, it causes Flame's sword to snap in half and explode. "You wanted to destroy my weapon?" And then Flash goes, "Your slow wits make all your speed for naught." And then Wind tries to punch him with a punch filled of fire, and Flash jumps away. Like us, Flash is a genius, but his skills are more precise. His footwork betrays no disadvantage in speed and power. The other monsters would be helpless against such strength. And then Flash says, "Do you think you outclass me? Tempest Wind, Hellfire Flame. I know all your moves because I trained harder than anyone. Exemplary fighters adhere more faithfully to the basic forms. If you know those, you can deal with anything, no matter how fast." And then it shows Tempest Wind jumping next to Flame. All right. Understood. That's enough, right?
Yeah, that's enough,
says Flame.
I'm done fighting as a ninja. I don't need technique or weapons. I will kill you as a monster.
And then Wind says, that is the strongest and most vicious way, and it'll make this simpler. We're gonna shame you with mind-blowing speed. You got us to abandon our pride as ninja, and I respect that. We will brutally attack you by unleashing our ultimate speed, and teach you the difference between human and monster before you die. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Flashy Flash.
And then it shows both of them planting their feet with such extreme force that they jump off the bridge, and from the force of them jumping off the bridge, they destroy the other part of the bridge that they're on. And along with Flashy Flash, because Flashy Flash jumps ahead of them, and they jump after him, and they catch up to him quickly, because as soon as he gets to the other side of the bridge that's above him, he only has enough time to kind of look at them before they come at the bridge full force, blowing it up from the force of them hitting it, as it shows Flash trying to defend himself as Tempest Wind kicks him directly in the chest. And he kicks him like a pretty good distance away. Then it shows Flame using his speed to try and hit Flash, and Flash dodges it and goes for Tempest Wind. And they start clashing with each other. Man, seeing this happen in the animation is going to be amazing. And Wind tries to catch Flashy Flash's sword to keep him stationary, as Tempest Wind, as a Flame comes up behind him and tries to bring down a flaming axe kick on him, which Flashy Flash avoids. And he jumps up even higher into the air. And as he's soaring into the air, it shows Tempest Wind above him already, because they say they want to try and brutalize him with speed, and they're proving they're looking like they're faster than Flashy Flash. With Wind thinking, "Do you still think you can escape? Do not disappoint me." As it shows Tempest Wind knocking away Flashy Flash's sword. And then it shows Flame hitting the roof above them, and then using his speed starts dashing towards where Wind and Flash are. And they start trying to hit Flashy Flash over and over, and it just shows in a double spread panel, they're just ricocheting at blinding speed through this entire enormous cavern. Note that this is not like a small cavern where it only has like a couple of bridges. It is a giant, almost bottomless ravine that goes down in unknown depth that they're bouncing between at blinding speeds. They're like pinballing at such a speed in this area in a double spread panel. My God, this art is just good. This is art. This isn't just people drawing. This is art. This is art. And it shows Flashy Flash actually getting hit with a couple of moves, and he ends up hitting one of the bridges, and he actually gets up and he coughs up a little blood. And then it cuts to Wind and Flame going, "Now, kill him." And then Flashy Flash looks back, gets up, and then he hits both Tempest Wind and Hellfire Flame with Flashy Kick. And he hits them both. And it's so flashy that the whole area lights up from the force of these kicks hitting both of them. And then it shows Flashy Flash moving at a speed that's faster than the both of them. Uh-oh, he's pressing us, and fast. I need to regain my footing and then it shows that, wow, I never noticed. Wow. Wait, hold on. You mean to tell me, hold on. Let me just describe to you what happened. Remember back when I said that Wind knocked away Flashy Flash's sword? We don't see that sword for a couple of panels, but as soon as Flashy Flash uses Flashy Kick and knocks both Wind and Flame away, he jumps to an adjacent wall while his sword is still going in that direction, which means that all these exchanges I just talked about after his sword was sent flying in another direction, that whole exchange happened within a fraction of maybe a couple of seconds. Because that sword is still flying, and he lands on the wall, and he catches his sword. So this whole exchange... Like, hold on. 1, 2, 3... That double spread panel I told you about. 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 panels of extra stuff happening. And you mean to tell me that exchange only took like a couple of seconds? Everything I just described was in seconds. And he still manages to catch his sword that's still flying through the air after having it knocked away 7 pages prior. And then he catches it. And he's on the wall and he's holding it and he goes, absolute technique. Flashy Slash. And then he uses this Flashy Slash and cuts straight through both Hellfire Flame and Tempest Wind at the exact same time. Looks like Kizaru has some competition. I mean, these jokers is fast, so yeah. But then again, we've never seen Kizaru actually use his top speed. We just see him use his speed for what works, for what's faster than normal people. But he cuts through them. And it shows both Tempest Wind and Flame, their upper halves kind of rising from their bodies, getting cut through cleanly. And then the whole area that they're in explodes as if Flashy Flash is like a member of the Power Rangers. He just cuts through them and he takes a pose. And then the whole spot, the area where he cut them, implodes, and so does the entire bridge area where they were standing. They just died. Yo, never mind. I thought it was gonna be small. The explosion just gets bigger. This is a whole panel just shows that the explosion completely envelops them and the bridge. And then another panel shows that the explosion is so big, it blows up the bridge. What? It's so big that there's other explosions happening all around him! Not just... The explosion is so big, not only do we have the explosion that happened at the place of Flame and Wind, but now different points inside of this entire cavern are just exploding. And then it cuts to them going, you're so irritating. If you had a move like that, you should have used it sooner. And then Flash goes, I was waiting to finish you both simultaneously. If one of you escaped, it would cause problems. The other Class S heroes would have difficulty against your speed. Your best option was to simply leave me alone. And then it cuts to Wind going, so we could have beaten anyone but you. You're so irritating. Assassins live in the shadows. Others use them and treat them like tools. We wanted to be on the side that steals and controls. We did everything we could to seize power, but... Flashy Flash, what did we lack? And then it just shows both, it shows like a tear coming out of the eye of Flame, and then it shows Tempest Wind as they die, and as the bridge falls, their bodies fall, as Flash doesn't give his answer yet. And then, as he leaves the cavern, he says, "You lack sufficient training." And then he just, ooh, I love this dude. I love Flashy Flash. And then he walks out and he starts to walk into a hallway. And then he gets to a crossroads and he goes, "Where am I? I better check the transmitter map." And then he starts searching for it. And then he starts fidgeting around because it shows a panel that the transmitter has fallen into the water in the area where he defeated Flame and Wind. And he just stands there. Comedic wind howling as he doesn't say anything. And that's the end of Punch 99. Onwards to Punch 100! Backpack. Then it cuts to Child Emperor as he brings up his own map.
The hero moving at high speed must have been Flash, but then he stopped. Is his transmitter broken? Everyone is moving normally, but if anything happens, they can handle it. In the worst case, they'll send an emergency signal. I'm not exactly worried about them, but rescuing the hostage will decrease the mental strain. I'll prioritize that so we can cut loose. I didn't mention it, but I know where to get info.
And then as it shows Child Emperor walking, it shows some pig-like monster with a butcher knife behind him, and then it shows some sort of octopus creature going beep, 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 beep. And before this pig creature could do anything to Child Emperor, his entire body is turned into Swiss cheese by what we get revealed to be Mini Octo Tank number 8. This weapon fires at any moving object in its defensive zone until the target's carbon dioxide emissions reach 0. This kid's a genius! And he's not... And the thing is, Child Emperor is so sure that he's fine, he doesn't even bat an eye. And he just continues on thinking,
I'm close.
And then he gets into like a workshop area as we see the body of Meta Knight laying on a table. Well, Metal Knight.
Metal Knight ran intensive durability tests, but this still got pulverized.
As it shows his pieces all over the place. But it's arranged in a sort of humanoid-like manner as to where each part would go.
Metal Knight ran an intensive durability test, but this still got pulverized. Doing this would require an incredible amount of strength. He said it was the Monster King Orochi. I hope I don't run into him. If Metal Knight won't provide data, then I'll extract it from his robot.
And then he just plugs in like a cord into Metal Knight's robot body cranium.
I'll download floor plans and recordings of monsters talking. Maybe they'll lead me to the hostage. Someone disassembled certain parts without damaging them and was trying to put them back together. But what monster would have such skill? Monsters using tech created to destroy monsters is yet another reason to worry. I found it! But what's this? A radar detector is showing the way to the hostage. Metal Knight knew all this but wouldn't cooperate? Well, getting angry about it won't help. Now I know, so I'll try to be positive. After all, I got info on my objective. Calmly and steadily clearing objectives is the surest way to success.
And then it cuts to him taking out a lollipop as he goes,
Irritation dulls the mind, but some sugar should sharpen my wits.
And then he starts licking it, and then his eyes go dead a little bit as he crunches down on the lollipop as he sees his Octo Tank is destroyed in front of a certain bird monster that we all know. As it goes,
Did you make that? It's a childish design. Do you think this is child's play?
It's Phoenix Man! And he's face to face with Child Emperor.
I envy your childish carelessness, but I am merciless even towards Rugrats.
And then it cuts to Child Emperor as he's biting through this lollipop. How can you bite through a lollipop so easily without at least whittling it down to just gnaw at it a little bit? I couldn't eat a lollipop and just bite straight through it. This ain't the Mr. Owl Tootsie Pop commercial.
Are you one of the monster's leaders? You might say I'm a middle manager. I'm not executive class, but I'm above the riffraff. In some ways, I'm better than an executive. Understand? An organization comes with fetters, but to a kid whose eyes light up at the word hero, that might be hard to comprehend. You're smart for a runt, but becoming a class's hero to get attention and special treatment has led you here to an unfortunate demise.
And then it just shows Child Emperor biting through the entire lollipop. Man, this dude gobbles down lollipops faster than Bayonetta does.
You shouldn't have sought praise from adults. I only trust myself. Even the Monster Association is a mere stepping stone. Someday I will steal the title of king from Orochi.
Yeah, good luck with that.
For I am Phoenix Man. I became a monster when I put on a bird costume and couldn't take it off.
The way people turn into monsters in this series is so bizarre. I turned into Crablante from eating too much crab. I turned into this car monster because I love cars. I turned into a bird man because I became a monster when I put on a bird costume and couldn't take it off. I became a monster when I put on a bird costume and couldn't take it off. Okay.
For I am Phoenix Man. I became a monster when I put on a bird costume and couldn't take it off. Child Emperor, you are a victim of the times, and this is where you die! I'll make it so fast you don't suffer. Beak attack!
And before Phoenix Man can do anything, Child Emperor is protected by like this little screen that's held on by wire that's attached to the hallway that completely stops Phoenix Man. And then it cuts to Phoenix Man it cuts to Child Emperor as he goes,
"While you were talking, I ejected wires to support this barrier. The transparent film is resistant to sudden impact. I can roll it up for portability and even wrap candy in it."
Wow, so you mean to tell me that the wrapper that was around his lollipop was that little barrier that he put up that completely negated Phoenix Man? Also, I forgot to read off his chart here. Threat level demon Phoenix Man. That's his level. And Child Emperor just nonchalantly stopped him with a wrapper he could put candy in.
"The transparent film is resistant to sudden impact. I can roll it up for portability and even wrap candy in it. Pretty handy, huh?" "This is a prototype. Would it be boring to call it an invisible wall?" Maybe irritating shield would be better. I thought about taking you alive to serve as my guide, but now I'm in a bad mood.
And then all of a sudden, his entire backpack opens up into many weapons. And he proceeds to just utterly deep fry this bird. As Phoenix Man just lets out a very loud squawk! And then it just shows Phoenix Man falling to the ground, completely beaten and eviscerated.
Ambition is admirable, but if you were really so competent, you wouldn't have joined an association. Does the same apply to me? Thanks. I feel better now.
And then it shows Child Emperor walking away. And then it shows some monsters outside of a jail cell as like a little robot frog jumps through the bars, and this is the same prison cell that Waganma's in. And it jumps through and it hops on the face of Waganma as he goes, "Yikes!" And then it cuts to like a three-eyed monster with an elephant trunk going, "Yo, shut up!" And then it cuts to a crocodile monster going,
What's the matter?
"The brat's raising a fuss!"
What a pain. Should we eat him?
And then a girl monster who's there goes,
The heroes are already invading, so who cares?
"I vote yes."
Hmm?
And then the whole area starts to fill up with smoke.
What's with this smoke?
And they're trying to wave it away. And they're trying their best to stop breathing it in because they're all like, "Yep,
Breathe it! Don't breathe it in!
and then they all fall. And they all start foaming at the mouth. I have no idea if this is a paralyzing mist, or if it's a sleep mist, or it just poisoned them. As we see someone with a mask on and a giant mechanical saw that cuts through the bars. As it's Child Emperor, as he goes,
Waganma? I came to rescue you. So let's get out of here.
So the frog that jumped on Waganma's face was there to be a rebreather because it has a filter that opens up on its back that allows Waganma to breathe through all this smoke.
I came to rescue you, so let's get out of here.
Then we see a sludge get up ahead, sludge go through the bars and be right above Child Emperor. Hedro Press!
Woo!
Threat level tiger, Hedro jellyfish.
The toxic gas didn't affect you, huh?
As it shows Child Emperor is protected by a barrier created from his umbrella. And then he flips out the stuff that Child Emperor makes that works for him that is super deadly is stuff that you would normally see in an elementary school kid's backpack. Because he flips out a recorder, and as he flips it over, it turns into like some sort of recorder lightsaber type weapon, and he slashes through Hedro jellyfish. And then Hedro goes, and then Hedro is withstanding all this because his body's just reforming from all the cuts. And then Child Emperor, I really need to sit up. I really do need to sit up straight. Hedro is surviving all these cuts as he's just simply reforming. And Child Emperor thinks,
Blades don't work either? I guess you aren't.
I guess you aren't so tough. Hold on, I want to make sure. Yeah, we're good. We're still good. Let's keep going. Cutting and stabbing won't work. You have no way to kill me. It's my lucky day. I'm gonna bag a class as hero. And then it shows Child Emperor shove a hose into Hedro Jellyfish's body. And then all of a sudden, he pulls it out. And then he throws a lit match over to Hedro. And he goes, as Hedro goes, "What the?" And then Child Emperor says,
That's flame oil.
as the lit match lights Hedro Jellyfish completely on fire. And then Child Emperor goes,
That reeks. Let's go.
and then both he and Waganma start to run outside.
You can take off the ribbit mask. How do you feel?
And then Waganma goes,
I'm hungry. Drink this. It's energy. It's energy jelly. Time is tight, so replenish as we walk.
"You're the
Class says hero, Child Emperor. Huh, what took took you so long?
And then Child Emperor ain't playing no games, and he just glares at Wagama like, boy, if you don't shut up, he just like Wagama goes like, what took you so long? And Child Emperor's all like, And then Wagama immediately shuts up. Thank you, Child Emperor. Someone finally put this hard-headed little itty bougie little rich boy in his place. Oh, I love to see it. And he glares at Wagama, and Wagama goes,
Oh, sorry.
and then they're just standing there as something starts to walk through the hallway. And then it cuts to the Child Emperor going,
I'm getting another reading. I'll take it out with my remote-controlled tank. To ensure Wagama's safety, it's best to be overcautious.
and then Wagama, being very oblivious, just goes, that looks fun! And then we see the tank going around the corner and trying to blast whatever's down the hallway, but it immediately gets destroyed by a sword strike. And who's holding this sword? It is G5! The giant samurai-looking creature person thing that showed up earlier. You look like a hero. Saying sorry, that's a huge step for Wagama. Yeah, it is. I'm glad Child Emperor was the one who put him on this path of being decent. You look like a hero. Spare me your name. You will die anyway.
A machine? Then I have just the thing.
And then he takes out his recorder and he starts blowing through his recorder, and it causes rockets that are shaped like recorders to fly out of his backpack to go around G5. You're late? I wouldn't worry about it, Abir. You're fine. All these rockets start to embed in the ground around G5, and then the sections where the holes are starts to turn into like a electric fence, which then starts to shock the body of G5.
A mechanical opponent neutralizer. I call it the Bug Bazapper. It traps targets in high-pressure electric lines, then delivers a signal forcing shutdown.
And then it cuts to what chapter? We are on chapter 100? Yeah. We are still on chapter 100. We got one more chapter after this, and then it's the bonus manga. So we're almost done.
It traps targets in high-pressure electric lines, then delivers a signal forcing shutdown.
And then it cuts to Wagama going,
Cool. Can I take that robot home?
and then G5 just immediately slashes through the entire electric line that's supposed to stop him in one swift motion.
Huh? Waganma, stay back!
As G5 starts to walk towards them with one of his swords.
He's strong!
And that is the end of Punch 100. Onwards to Punch 101, Tears of Regret. And then it shows in a double spread panel from like behind the view of G5, he's walking towards Child Emperor and Waganma. There's a lot of chapters this volume. Yeah, there's quite a few. We started on chapters 197. There's a lot more compared to the two that we got in the last volume. And then it cuts to him. Then it cuts to Child Emperor as he goes,
I'm burning through items fast, but come, faithful servants, underdog men!
And then he has like these little play balls that jump out, but they all transform into nearly full-sized like Shiba Inu dogs.
Number 23, number 24, number 25, combined!
And all the dogs just get on the backs of each other to make like a cheerleader's pyramid, and it's just silence. But then they all start to combine together to become this giant, dark-toned, three-headed Cerberus-looking mech right now.
Mad dog, mad underdog Cerberus!
And then Waganma goes,
That looks kick butt! Awesome! Robot fight! Yeah.
And then it shows G5 taking out his other sword because he has two swords. He has two swords. And he draws his sword, and as he goes, lumped in with a dog AI. How irritating. And he has both of his swords drawn in front of him in like a cross-like manner. And then Mad Dog Cerberus goes and he launches at G5. And then Child Emperor takes out his tactical pencil case. And inside this pencil case are little mini missiles that he can fire. Child Emperor is a literal genius. This is something I would see Dexter have. Like the ridiculousness of it all. Like casual school stuff turned into just full-fledged weaponry. This is Dexter levels of ingenuity and ridiculousness. This is like stuff that you would see in the 90s, but this dude has turned it into like the one reason why he's a Class S hero. But he takes out his tactical pencil case, and inside is and it's like he fires these missiles like they're Nerf. Like this is something that Nerf could turn into something. Nerf could make this if they wanted to.
Pencil missiles!
And it shows the missiles going in front of Mad Underdog Cerberus as the missiles explode, but they don't explode with like warheads. They explode with sticky resin that causes G5 to stop moving.
Bird lime warheads! Bird lime warheads!
And then it shows it harden as it starts to make it so that G5 can't move. And then Cerberus comes up with
Wild Dog Paddle Punch!
And then it shows Child Emperor grabbing Wagama as Wagama is, kind of oblivious to the present danger. And he's just looking at the cool stuff that's happening between the two big mechs as he's going,
yeah, get him! Let's go, Waganma!
And they keep running through a dark hallway as Wagama goes,
why aren't you fighting alongside your robot? Victory looks certain. That monster is strong, so it would slow us down. Winning isn't what's important.
It isn't? But don't heroes beat up monsters? Papa says heroes live off everyone else's dough, so they should work hard.
That's right, but my mission is getting you to the surface, so I have to avoid fights.
Then it shows like a three-eyed bat creature coming out of the corner, which Child Emperor does not waste any time in embedding several very large blades into its body.
Yeah! If I got injured and couldn't move, who would protect you?
Right. You're totally right.
But let's rest a little. I'm exhausted. My legs are tired. Carry me!
And as they run through the hallway, they come right back across Phoenix Man.
Yax! A monster! Don't worry, I defeated this one earlier. Hey, that looks like Donkenbird. He did mention an animal costume. Is Donkenbird a famous character? It's the mascot of a funny TV show called Animal Empire. The humor was a little dark, so it got canceled. Donkenbird was stupid and always died.
Wow. So this dude was a part of this child show. That's the dude that was in there. That's the dude that was inside the suit of Phoenix Man's. That's the dude. That's Phoenix Man. He used to be a mascot for this children's show.
The humor was a little dark, so it got canceled. Donkenbird was stupid and always died.
That was a bird that looked similar to the game I was playing. I mean, that was like a giant multi-winged crane of some kind. This is supposed to be like a phoenix. I can understand the monstrousness of it all, but I wouldn't say it's similar to the giant bird I was fighting in Wolong.
Always? Yeah, he'd fly into power lines or get grilled and skewered, but he was so thick-headed he returned the next episode like nothing happened. Resurrection, huh? But that was just on TV. Monster behavior is difficult to predict. Almost anything could serve as their origin. What if the man in the costume received the characteristics of that mascot?
And then he's just thinking of Phoenix Man. Now, you don't get the title of Phoenix Man without having some sort of characteristics. Because as Waganma and Child Emperor start walking away, a big flash of light happens behind them where Phoenix Man was laying. And then we get both of them looking back as someone says,
Just like Gyoro said, overcoming a hellish brush with death is the secret to explosive growth.
and then, wow! Yo, I didn't think too much about Phoenix Man's design when he first appeared. But here, in this double spread panel, we get threat level dragon, resurrected Phoenix Man. And he looks like he's pretty much ascended. You know how Baron Tamago turns into like a different form whenever his form is defeated, and he gets a grander and grander look? This Phoenix Man basically just had a massive glow up. He no longer looks like a giant bird. He looks like a man that has combined the elements of his costume. He looks like someone who fought a giant phoenix bird creature in Monster Hunter and then used its parts to make armor now. Because we see a human face inside the mouth of like the Phoenix Man head, but the rest of his outfit looks like it's straight up Monster Hunter. Like this dude had a master rank 100 mission and he completed it without fainting, and then he got all the parts first try and made this new armor. That's what resurrected Phoenix Man looks like. And then the whole area just explodes as Child Emperor flips up like this little gun he has out of his backpack, and he goes,
Birdline shotgun!
And then it shows Phoenix Man opening up his wings, because mind you, he's humanoid now. He has like a human body with elements of the Phoenix Man around him. And his wings open up, and with a massive flap, he blows a wind so forceful it causes a shockwave that goes in the direction of the shots of the shotgun and rebounds them right back at Child Emperor.
He returned the blast! Get down!
And then Child Emperor gets his umbrella and he shields himself from this massive fiery, because this is a fiery shockwave that just emanated from Phoenix Man. And he shields himself along with Waganma. Then Child Emperor kicks open a section of this barrier as he tells Waganma to stay put.
That material is heat resistant, so stay there!
And then it cuts to Waganma as he says,
What are you gonna do? Don't leave me! I don't have any more underdog men, so I'll fight myself.
And then it shows him flipping out his recorder along with all of his bladed weapons from his backpack, and he even turned like a little school carrying case into like a mini shield that he can use.
I'll defeat this creep one more time!
And then the whole area just explodes in fire. But it also shows that Phoenix Man's fire doesn't reach him because Child Emperor put up another transparent film barrier again.
Another transparent film? I'll find out with another beak attack.
Despite losing last time, you're awfully confident.
As it shows the head part of Phoenix Man closing. Child Emperor is a problem for his age. Man, this dude.
Come on. This time my irritating shield has 5 layers. Just like before, I'll strike while he's recovering.
Phoenix Explosion Beak Attack!
As it shows Phoenix Man blowing up the area around him as he starts to rush towards Child Emperor. And in the smoke, He comes speeding out of the flames at high speeds and breaks through every single barrier.
He penetrated them all? This guy is dangerous!
And then it shows Phoenix Man hitting his beak into the shield of Child Emperor with enough force to actually dent in the shield and hit Child Emperor in his stomach. Now, mind you, no blood has been shown, but it shows Child Emperor being launched all the way back into a nearby wall and hitting it. And then Phoenix Man goes, "Indeed, I am stronger. This feeling of omnipotence makes everything appear to glow."
Child Emperor! Oh no! You're class S, so you're okay, right?
In this moment, my power is rising. Of all creatures, I am now #1! Do not weep, boy. This time I'll kill you before you have time to fear. And then it cuts to Child Emperor as he starts crying.
I'm not crying in fear. I regret my weakness. I thought I prepared for any circumstance, but you're not even a leader and you surpassed my expectations. This wasn't supposed to happen, but now I guess I'll have to use my ultimate weapon. Assemble! Brave Giant!
Ah, I bit my lip. Ow, that hurts.
Assemble! Brave Giant!
And then his wristwatch opens up. Like his wristwatch opens up and then there's like a massive flash of light. And then it cuts to some monsters walking in the hallway as a crack starts to appear in a wall. We don't see what it is yet. And a monster goes,
Huh? What's that?
until a large giant drill comes through and completely separates the monster's upper half of his head from his lower section. And the earthquake and the force of this is so strong that everyone can feel it above ground all the way back at the top of street level. With Captain Mizuki going, "Whoa!" And then Poison and Second Gall are like, "More monsters? No. What are these readings?" As it shows 5 unknown objects heading towards where presumably Child Emperor is. And they all converge around Child Emperor, and these pieces start to transform as it shows Child Emperor holding out his arms like he's about to go into like a full Iron Man suit up. And the whole area fills with dust as Phoenix Man can only watch on as Child Emperor goes,
"Here I come!"
And then lights happen, lights flare up through the smoke, and a giant hand comes through the smoke and hits Phoenix Man so hard it sends him through the wall into that little corridor where the bat creature tried to attack both him and Waganma. The long dark hallway with all the pillars and the flames. A giant hand comes in and slaps him through that opening. And Phoenix Man gets thrown with such force, he gets smacked through several pillars and into a nearby wall with extreme force. And then it shows a giant blade of light. I don't even know if this is like a laser blade or whatever. It starts to cut through the wall that Phoenix Man was knocked through. And then it cuts a giant hole. And then a giant mech-sized foot kicks this hole in. And we see this is Dexter's lab! This is so Dexter's lab! Y'all remember the mech that Dexter always used to use? That was basically like a giant form of him, but it was like mech size, big arms and big gauntlets, and then big purple pointed the feet that looked like his boots, and then it had like his big head that had like the angular Gundam look to it. That's what Child Emperor has. He has a giant Dexter's Lab type mech. As it shows him walking towards the resurrected Phoenix Man. And then it shows Child Emperor inside of this mech with a brand new shirt on that says Class S Child Emperor on it.
Just to be safe, I planted parts underground around the hideout.
And then it cuts to Waganma, who's still inside of the Umbrella Bubble Shield as he goes,
What the? You should have used that from the start.
and then Child Emperor doesn't say anything, and then Phoenix goes, yes, then you could have escaped with the brat sooner, but you didn't, so maybe it can't operate very long. And then it, in fact, confirms it because there's a timer in front of Child Emperor. Time remaining 2 minutes, 38 seconds.
There's no time, so I need to finish this fast.
And that is the end of chapter 101, ladies and gentlemen. Onwards to the bonus manga, Can't I Wait? And that will be the end of today's One Punch Man reading. Bonus manga, Can't Wait! And it cuts to the hospital where Chiranko is. And it cuts to a nurse as she says, Mr. Chiranko, you mustn't move around. Well, I'm a martial artist, so I gotta exercise to keep my edge. I'll show her how manly I am and score a date with her. Oh my, you're so strong.
That's dangerous! Hey, stop right there! You're moving around again, but you need rest! How many times do I have to tell you your injuries will get worse, Mr. Suideyu?
And then it shows Suideyu, whose legs are broken and his arm is broken, using his one available arm to hop through the hallway with like a simple handstand. And then it cuts to Suideyu as he goes, but I can't just lie around. The heroes are fighting the Monsters Association, and I have a goal to reach. And he happens to hop right in front of the nurse that Chiranko was trying to impress, and she's just standing there, gushing and blushing as she just goes, and then she goes, so strong. And Chiranko's all like, oh. You versus the guy she tells you not to be concerned about. And then it cuts to Chiranko as he goes, yeah, I'll just rest. 21 in an instant end. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been my reading of One Punch Man Volume 21. I only have 2 more physical volumes before I fully catch up on the physical volumes of One Punch Man. Then I can work on catching up to the rest of the chapters of One Punch Man afterwards. This has been a joyous read to have. I enjoyed every single second of it. The double spread panels, Flashy Flash being flat out awesome, all the other heroes being flat out awesome, Child Emperor showing his absolute best in just how resourceful he is, even though he's a child. Waganma's been rescued, even though I wish the dude would actually, actually be more receptive to the fact that these people are here to rescue him, but he doesn't have any right to, be snide and snooty. But, and also Phoenix Man has resurrected, and his whole threat level has gone up, including his own power. So that's going on. So I can't wait to see what happens in the next one. But, ladies and gentlemen, firstly, I'm glad I was able to get through that without, disrupting the whole experience for all of you with my, coughing. There's still a little phlegm that I got to get out. But I want to say that this was a fantastic read, and I enjoyed reading this volume to you. Hope you all enjoyed the voices, and I look forward to seeing you guys the next time I read or do something. So all I can say is, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed what you saw here today, then like, subscribe, and maybe even consider becoming a member, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later, peoples. Best read-along channel, a beer, you are too kind. As long as you all are entertained, I've done my job.